Welcome back to our virtual classroom. We are now going on to learning outcome 3, designing a pre-writing program for grade R using the CAPS document. So why is it important for teachers to have a plan? So I've highlighted 3 main aspects of this. So first, it provides a structure for the teacher with regards to teaching and learning. Next, it's a provision for a balance of activities in order to meet the needs of each individual child. And also, especially for handwriting, we can plan in advance for any materials or resources we need. And schools have a strict budget, so it also allows you to plan your activities within your budget and the money that you have available in your school. So after this, I'd like you to go to the patterns recording and have some fun with me doing some pre-writing patterns. So what does CAPS say about this pre-writing program? So we're on our CAPS home language document on page 19. So before starting to teach formal handwriting, children should follow a pre-writing program to develop visual discrimination, gross and fine motor, hand-eye coordination, and body image. So this includes pencil grip and how to form letters. And then later on is moving towards the position and space between the lines. Then the correct sitting position is also very, very important. So here's just some examples from my grade R classroom. So here they are playing with shaving cream, and it's very open-ended. There were no instructions. They each got a little blob of shaving cream and they could have some fun. And this activity was done before the day started, so as they arrived at school. A top tip for shaving cream is to get a towel, a dry towel, to wipe off the shaving cream, because as soon as you add water to it, it gets soapy. So you can just use a towel, a dry towel, and rub that off. Then here's a sensopathic tray, and where they're experimenting with letters, and you can see they've put the letters up on the windowsill there, and also on the little rocks in the display table are other little letters that they can experiment with. Then we followed a Letterland program. So once a week we would do one letter, and they would learn how to write this letter starting at the correct point. So for example, here is a bouncy Ben, and they learned to write it in the air first. So you can see a little girl here at the bottom. She's got her hand up because they're going from the top down and around. And one volunteer would come up to the board, and it was an interactive board, and they would trace on the B. So this was also a fun one. So one of the CAPS outcomes is that they can make letters using their bodies. So for an inventive Father's Day card, they each had a turn to create letters with their bodies, and then this is what was created. So we made this little sign that said Happy Father's Day that was stuck outside the classroom. So it really has a multitude of options that you can do with this. There are so many activities you can do. Pegboards, pegs, tracing, the trampoline, monkey bars, lacing, craft, stickers, Play-Doh, cutting, threading. So here is an example of how you could set this grade R pre-writing program out. So in my classroom, I used a 2-week schedule. So on a Monday, we would do patterns. Tuesday would always do a tracing activity. Wednesday we'd do the sensory letter of whatever Letterland character we were doing. So for example, for Bouncy Ben, we used beans, and we stuck beans on a B, and they could feel that letter and how it is, how it feels and how it looks. Then we did our Letterland on Thursday. So we did a tactile element where it would be either writing it in shaving cream, writing it in sand, and then we'd write it on the board, and we use our whiteboard, and I'm going to introduce you to Momo at a later stage. And then the Friday would be a visual perception activity. Then the following week on a Monday it would be a dot to dot, a maze, the next sensory letter, the same format, and a fine motor craft. Then I also had a schedule for the term where for this week I would have made sure that I have Play-Doh with rollers and cookie cutters out as one of the activities for before school. So you can see there's a multiple examples here of different fine motor activities that they could do in the early morning playtime before the day actually started. So just to remind you what is in the grade R program, there's the arrival, the morning ring, your teacher guided ring, your routine activities, your free play, the outdoor free play, indoor free play, tidy up time, toilet and wash, another ring, and story time. So these are all opportunities that you can use to fit in these pre-writing activities. So in your workbooks, your activity is to go and find fine motor, gross motor, spatial orientation and directionality, and tracing and writing pattern activities. So I've done an example for you. So this is what it should look like. So here's the layout. So your first thing you do is find the CAPS outcome. So this one is develops fine motor skills for strengthening hand muscles, forms letter with Play-Doh, and make sure to put your reference there. Then the activity, I've given a big explanation of the activity. So this is a child-initiated activity during free play. Alphabet Play-Doh mats will be laid out on the table. Children will be encouraged to shape the letters using different colors of Play-Doh and Play-Doh tools.